Welcome. Yay. Live on Facebook, Instagram. All right. I want to talk about building a business from the ground up. For those of you joining live, welcome. I'm really excited to share with you some important things that if I were to have started over, I would have definitely put a lot more time, energy, and attention on these things that I'm going to share with you. And if you are tuning in live, invitation to engage. I would love to hear from you all about some of your current struggles and just where you might be hitting some roadblocks and desiring some support. I'm going to drop a comment. Share with me. Okay. And if you stay till the end, or if you're watching the replay, I'm going to share with you some early details about an offer that I'm launching on Monday. Full details will be shared then, but if you do stay till the end, I'll give you a little bit of insight, and if you're curious about it, you can get on the waiting list for that, so that's really exciting. It's an opportunity to get even more support on some of the specifics that I'm going to be sharing about in this live today. All right, here we go. So I wanted to go live on this for those of you who are in the early stages of developing your online business and you're wanting to make it really successful. You're wanting to see certain results for yourself. You have perhaps some goals or some long-term goals that you're wanting to achieve, and maybe you're just in a place where you're like, okay, well, what do I focus on? Where do I start? Or this can also be really supportive if you've already started and you're already on the path of pursuing an online business and you are just needing a little bit of clarity and direction and where to focus your time and energy so that you can see the most optimal results and you can see the most success more effortlessly come in. So yeah, I'm going to share with you four really important things that have helped me along the way, and that when I was just starting a couple years ago with my initial online businesses, I wish that I knew these things, and they're really, really supportive. So number one, first always is being in the embodiment. I don't know why my eye is like watering so much. Being in the embodiment of your own magic. This is so foundational in showing up in the online world and actually magnetizing the right clients and magnetizing the desired results that you're after, is really being in, like, holding that energy, being in the embodiment of your own uniqueness, of your essence, because people feel that. And a big part of why people buy from you is because they resonate with you, they feel a connection. And so it's really important that you are showing up really feeling yourself, that you're checking yourself first as well. So before you create a post, or before you hop onto a class that you're teaching, or before you put yourself out there in some way, just making sure that you align and tune in with your truth, with your anchor, with your center. And really with that, like, finding where you can lean more into the pleasure of embracing your uniqueness. Where can you turn yourself on a little bit more? Where can you lean into the edginess of sharing more of yourself, talking about your journey, or sharing some quirks about you, or bringing your silly side online? Like, how can you just be more of you? Because ultimately this is so magnetic, especially in the online industry, in the online coaching industry, that is so oversaturated with lots of people sharing similar things. It's important that you show yourself standing out by just being you, right? If you're just like trying to do things the way that someone else is doing them, that's successful, that you admire, it can only get you so far. You're ultimately wanting to work with people that vibe with you, that you like, and so in order to attract those people, you've just got to be you. You've got to be your authentic self. And if you don't know how to do that, I would say go find a coach who can help you drop into that, who can help you unpeel some layers and tune back into your full expression. Or if you've got some practices, that was another piece I was going to touch on, return to those practices. Find things that help you to tap in to you deeper. A ritual or a yoga practice or something that you consistently do that just reminds you who you are and what you love and why you show up for doing this thing, why you show up for doing the thing that you love. And yeah, getting excited within that, like within that embodiment, getting excited, finding something that's going to hype up your excitement for the work that you're here to serve. So maybe like for me, that's turning on some music and just like shaking or dancing or moving or whatever it is I'm feeling and getting myself pumped up, getting those good hormones flowing in my body and just getting excited for the work that I'm here to serve. And then a mindset shift is looking at, so if you're in the beginning stages or the early stages and you're wanting to see a lot of success, just looking at the journey from the perspective of this is going to be so fun, rather than, oh my God, that's a huge mountain to climb. There's so much to do. I'm just here. These people are already here. Everybody has to start somewhere. And I'm sure you've heard this before, but may it just be a reminder that when you are just starting out, it's really important to pace yourself and remind yourself that you're exactly where you're meant to be right now. There's always so much to learn. No matter how successful you get, there's always going to be work involved in tweaking things and continuing to just perfect your own system, your own business model, your own systems. So just looking at the journey like, all right, I'm here for the whole journey. I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to grow. And I see where I'm going and I'm here for it. And knowing that, you get to choose the path that works for you. You get to carve your own path. There's a million ways to do business online. There's a million models. There's hundreds, thousands of coaches that will tell you some of the similar things. Many will tell you different things to do. And ultimately, you get to lean into and choose what feels best for you. And that might just be an intuitive thing. Like you might just know that you don't want to have this certain model and you want to do it more this hybrid way, or you really like the way someone did this and you want to kind of replicate that in your own way. So you just get to lean into what really feels good for you and know that a lot of the systems out there, they will work if you stick to it, right? I mean, some of them maybe not. So do your research, find out what the people that inspire you are doing, that you see being really successful, and then from that, decide what feels good for you and what you want to take on and what you want to practice and bring into your own business model. Number 2, getting really clear on the field that you want to be working in. In other words, your niche, your area of expertise. I'll give you a little insight. So this is something that I'm going to be teaching in my upcoming offering I'm sharing on Monday. So if you're wanting to really dive into this specific topic, then stay tuned for some of those details. But just getting clear on what it is that you want to be bringing into the world and not jumping around and selling a bunch of different things. So for example, if you're a life coach and you're wanting to help people in their spiritual development, it would be quite confusing for your audience if you were one week teaching about healthy eating and your diet, and then the next week you're teaching about meditation, and then the next week you're teaching about relationships. Like, stay in one lane. Pick a lane and stay in it, and it doesn't have to be that way forever. It'll absolutely change as you evolve and fine-tune what your gifts are and what it is that you really want to be bringing forward. But just pick a lane and stay in it and be persistent. What happens when you are jumping all over the place is that it just confuses your people and it doesn't really build that trust in your audience. Like, for example, if you're just focusing on one thing that you're sharing and selling, then your audience builds like a reliability. They know that, oh, okay, she's going to be showing up consistently about this topic, and there's just going to be more and more information on this over time. And I'm excited to pick and choose what I'm tuning into, and knowing that it's just like this kind of general bubble of idea of niche. It's not like too much to digest, where, like I said before, it's like, oh, this week, that week. It just doesn't really work. It confuses people. I don't know why all of a sudden when I go live, my nose starts getting all stuffy. Excuse me, I keep sniffling. Okay, number 3, consistency. Consistency. Oh my God, I will repeat this all the time. I've definitely done many videos on just consistency. This is huge. So just making it a devotion, making it your life's work to show up consistently and affirm to yourself, to the universe, like, I am here for this. And with that, you make time for the work that you're here to bring forward. Even if you have another job or if you have other things going on in your life, your devotion and commitment to your success has a lot to do with your consistency. Consistency is like the other half of success. So you can do all the inner work and the strategies and everything and grow business, but if you're not consistent with it, then eventually it's just going to crumble, and your audience won't fully trust you. It just shows a level of professionalism. So making sure that you show up consistently. And don't focus your time and energy on the things that just don't matter. And I'll lay some of those things out for you in case you are wanting clarity on that. Some of the things that really don't matter in the beginning are having a website. I never started with one. About 4 years ago when I started my online work, I didn't have a website for years, and I was still having clients. I was doing totally different style of coaching back then. But it's just not necessary. I mean, if you want one, go for it. If you have the extra funds and resources and you're like really all in that way and investing in yourself and your business growth, then why not create an awesome website? Yeah. But it's not important, not something that you need to focus on. Another thing that you don't need to focus on is hiring a team. I am just now hiring a team, about almost a year into this new iteration of my online business, but it's definitely not necessary. So if you've been tripping up around like, I need to have this person doing this and this and this, like, nah, just simplify. You can do it all yourself, really. And you don't have to make it so complicated if you're getting tripped up on some of the tech stuff. I definitely have been in that position. I would just not overthink it. I would simplify and say, okay, is this really important right now? Do I really need to have this like tech piece in place? And if the answer is yes, then just go simply hire someone on one of those like freelance websites who can do the job for you in like less than an hour for $20 or something. So just options. I wouldn't get worked up around that. And just, again, stay in your lane and like continue to share about your genius and your mastery and what you're here to teach and what your message is, because that's the most important thing in building a business. You showing up and being the coach, being the leader. And always asking yourself, how can I serve my message more clearly today? So when you are in that devotion of consistency and you're showing up for your people, just asking yourself, humbling yourself to, all right, what can I share today that's really going to serve my people? How can I be the best leader? How can I be the best coach for my message, right? It's not about you flashing and being like, oh, I'm the best coach, I'm the best at this. That's not important. Nobody cares. They care about getting the results that you're offering them. So showing up for that question of, okay, how can I really serve my people today? What's going to help them have a little mini breakthrough? And not putting a lot of pressure on yourself to give them the full transformation or breakthrough that you know is possible through your other deep dive containers. For example, like, I know that the stuff I share on Instagram here is like barely scraping the surface of what we talk about in my classes and in my one-on-ones. It's just like it could never compare. What happens in those containers is so much more in depth. And so taking that pressure off yourself when you are creating and just realizing, all right, I'm just putting out a post. This is like just scraping the surface. I'm just going to share a little bit about this topic. I know it's going to serve my people, and if they're wanting to continue deepening and expanding with me in that way, then I'll invite them into something where we can do exactly that. So, and with that also, like, not holding back, giving yourself permission to be generous with what it is that you're sharing and what you're speaking to, and just knowing that there's infinitely more to share and to speak to. It really never goes away. When you are tapped into that self-mastery and into your channel, there's just a wellspring of knowledge and information for you to be serving and sharing with your people. All right. And lastly, number 4 is setting goals for yourself. So picking dates. As simple as that. If you're in the early beginning stages of starting a business, I highly encourage you to sit down with your calendar and just pick some dates for things that you want to be producing and bringing out. Whether that is like a free training or a certain offering, or you want to go live on this subject, like sit down and write it into your calendar. All right, I'm going to go live next week on Wednesday on this topic. Like, write it down. And of course, life happens and sometimes things change, but it really creates a healthy habit of that masculine structure and giving yourself that structure. Because when we're working for ourselves, often there is no one else telling us what to do, when to do it, right? We're our own boss. So it's really important that we sit down and plan things out, even if we don't necessarily know exactly what it's going to be. Like, for example, this is a little further into the journey, but my coach right now is having me like map out my sales calendar for the next whole year. And I'm just like, what? I can't even think about like 6, 7, 8 months from now what it is that I'm gonna want to be teaching on. But it's just a practice to like sit down and have like a general idea. Like, okay, for me, 6, 7 months from now, I might be birthing a new course, and kind of just have an idea of what it might be around. And you can like dial it back into like just looking at week by week and planning, or if you're wanting that bigger picture, you can like look at your monthly plan, couple months plan. Just start to give yourself a little bit of guidance and structure, and that's really going to help you along the way with reaching your milestones, which is one of the last things I wanted to talk about. So having those milestones that you're wanting to achieve, whether that's like, I would like to have a certain amount of clients, excuse me, or I would like to make this amount of money, and just like holding those milestones in your brain, in your mind, in your heart, but not getting attached to when they happen. This is something that really tripped me up for a while. It's just like, okay, I want to consistently be making like $10,000 to $20,000 a month, and I would like beat myself up if I like wasn't quite meeting that. And so it really helped me to reframe and to step back and look at it like, I'm just going to have milestones. Like, the first milestone is going to be me generating $50,000 from my business. I'm not attached to when it happens, if it happens in 1 month or 5 months, but that's just like a milestone, right? So taking time constraint off of your goals and just giving yourself permission to have a focus, have a vision, put it on your vision board, write an affirmation about it, put it somewhere in your notes or something, and when you hit that milestone, you celebrate it, and then you get to pick the next milestone, rather than the pressure of like, oh my God, I need to do this in the next 2 months. Like, that just puts unnecessary stress on us to overperform usually. So step back, have those goals, pick the dates, give yourself some structure, have some milestones you want to accomplish. And lastly, have a long-term vision. This is like, I've talked about this before many times on lives, but this is like the anchor point of stability. This is the pillar that you will continue to dance around year after year in your business. Like, what is that long-term vision? A combined vision and business. What is that long-term vision that you're wanting to create for yourself? And also, this will likely change over time Well, maybe you have an idea like you want to buy a house for yourself, or you want to retire your parents, or you want to build a vacation rental on this island, or you want to just have a bunch of money to be able to travel wherever. Like, have an idea of what that long term vision is and return to that when you are in a place of uncertainty or doubt or feeling, if emotions or stuff comes up around your business, and just be able to have that where you return like, okay, this is the long-term vision. This is why I'm going to show up and be consistent every day and focus on this. And also, of course, there comes like just the natural love for what you do. That's first and foremost, is like being consistent because you just genuinely love what you do and you just have a lot to share. And then there's that long-term vision that anchors it in. It's like, okay, this is the goal. This is why I'm going to continue creating. So yeah, it's my mini download for you all. It seems like there were a handful of you that hopped on live, and I'm sure there will be a handful of you watching the replay. But yeah, just to wrap that all up. So the embodiment piece is number one, so important. Getting clear on what you want to be working on. Being consistent. Oh my God, I couldn't emphasize this enough. And setting goals for yourself, picking dates, giving yourself a little bit of structure. These are the things that have really, really helped me grow my business and bringing me consistent income and clients that are just like perfect matches. Of course, there's so much more to it that I couldn't even begin to teach in a live, but as a little mini download, if you're in the beginning stages or you're wanting to grow, these are things that I would absolutely focus on right now. And yeah, I wanted to share with you all a little sneak peek on what's to come on Monday. I won't give the full download here. But if you're wanting to explore more specifically the area of clarifying what you're here to do, who you're here to serve, and exactly what it is that you are offering, then this offering launching Monday is going to be exactly the thing to help you get clarity on that. And also an amazing opportunity to be in a group setting, but also getting one-on-one coaching from me. I'll get my eyes and ears into your vision, into your plan, and we'll like tweak it together in real time, and you'll walk away feeling clear, very clear on what it is that you are here to bring forward and how exactly to do that. So if that's something you're interested in, then stay tuned Monday. Also, you can send me a little message after this live and say that you are interested, and I can make sure to put your email on a list so you're one of the first people to know and get the early bird pricing. All right, I hope this served you. If you loved it, I would love to hear from you. Don't be crickets, say hi, drop a message in the comment, and let me know what stood out for you. At any point across time and space, if you're watching this like 6 months later or next week, let me know in the comments. Say, hey, I just watched this video and this is exactly the shift that I need to be making. This is exactly what I need to be focusing on, or I got clarity on this. Like, I just love to know. So yeah, let me know, or even let me know what what are some of the biggest roadblocks. If there was something that I didn't speak to in this video, comment it below and say, hey, this is how this landed for me and I'm struggling with this. I want to know. So engage with me. I love building relationships with you all. It's really important to me. All right, that's all for now. See you later.